So there's a lot of fun to be had with BPR filters. When you hit render up here, you're just doing a normal render. But when you go into your render menu, you'll see that there's a BPR filter section down here. These filters can actually radically affect the outcome of your render. So just to show how these work, if you open up your lightbox and you go to the filters section over here, if you render first and then double click on any of these, you'll see that it updates with various looks and styles based on the render properties or the filters that are being selected. This is pretty cool. You can find some pretty nice looking effects here. So for example, let's take messy sketch, and this will, so it gives you, I just kind of reset that a little bit because sometimes the background does change, but if we do that, we get this pretty cool effect. I've actually reduced my spotlight, my lightbox rather, to one row here, which you can do from your preferences, lightbox, and just change your startup rows to 1, and then store config, open config, store config, restart ZBrush, and then you'll only have 1 row on your lightbox, which is handy for just kind of previewing this stuff. If we had 3 rows, it would be difficult to see what's going on. We'd have to be constantly closing and opening up the lightbox to actually see what's going on. So in this instance, we have this particular one. As we see, if you go into the render properties, you'll see the BPR filters. But these are the filters that are loaded. Any of the filters with an open circle are basically in use, and any of the ones with no open circle are not actually being used. So as you click on them, you'll see that this one has to do with flat shading, this one has to do with displacement, texture, another displacement, etc. You can modify each of the properties. This displacement setting here, for example, I'm just going to move this off to the side a little bit, render that again. You can modify this displacement here by bringing that down, and as you'll see, it has less of an effect on this. We go to, and we can actually turn it off entirely to see what that would look like, and turn off the, this is the other one with displacement. Turn that off, and you see now the displacement is entirely gone. So it's good to edit these and find settings that you like, and whether it's on or off. Additionally, you can add on your own onto them. So for example, if on this one, if I turn this on and I'll change this filter to, say, Orton, for example, that will allow us to brighten up the render a little bit, because maybe this was feeling a little bit dark, and we can take the value for that and increase that again, so the whole thing feels a little bit brighter. So obviously it's a good idea to mess around with those and see what kind of looks you can get. Some of them can be really interesting, some of them less so. The other thing is the background does affect it quite radically. So for example, this one was designed to be on a white background, so our background is gray here. If I change that by going to the document and change the back to a white, if we render this again, you can see that it kind of fits in better with what it was originally designed to do. So you may need to modify the background a little bit to fit the particular style of that filter. Cool. Well, worth playing around with these anyway, and as ever, please do subscribe to the channel if you find these tips useful. Alright, thanks.